Hi class. In this video, we're going to be talking about theoretical probability versus experimental probability. So experimental probability is the probability of an event occurring based on the experimental results. Meanwhile, theoretical probability is the expected probability of an event occurring. So I have an example here where in this example, I have a regular two-sided coin and I flip it 10 times. And after I flipped it 10 times, I recorded the results of my experiment and it landed on tails 7 times. So, based on the experiment, what is the experimental probability of flipping a coin and landing on tails? So, based on the results, if you think about it, 7 out of 10, that is my probability. So, my probability of flipping a coin and landing on tails, the experimental probability would be 7 out of 10, or 0.7, or 70%. That's based on the experiment. Now, in theory, based on theoretical probability, a coin only has two sides, heads or tails. So the theoretical probability of flipping a coin and landing on tails must be 50%, or a half, 0.5, and 50%, right? Because I only have two options, heads or tails. So in theory, if I flip a coin, there's only a half chance to land on tails because the other half chance would be on heads. Now, that's the difference between experimental probability and theoretical probability. Now, I got one more thing to say to you guys, and this is just something to think about. So, if you flip a coin, let's say 1 million times, the probability of landing on tails will be much closer to 50%. So now let's think about this statement and understand why. So for an experiment, the bigger your sample size or the more times you have trials in the experiment, the more likely your experimental probability will end up becoming your theoretical probability. So because I only flipped the coin 10 times here, my results are very far off from my theoretical probability. But if I flip the coins, let's say 1 million times, there's less, error in that experiment. And the greater your sample size, the less error, and then I'm more likely to get my theoretical probability. And that's pretty much the difference between experimental probability and theoretical probability.